If science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion, otherwise you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Where you been?
Drunk.
Wendy, darling, light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck off and die.
I feel bad. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm going to feel getting into it, but I feel bad. I feel like a grumpy old man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how I feel
like,
right now.
You know what it is? Okay. All right.
Sitting back here with my
feel-
arms folded, being like,
I
fucking Ferris Bueller.
yeah, I mean I crack a smile.
I got
for
some
this
cracks.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I enjoy this film. That's hands down. But I think it's just like it's like John Hughes, like watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off gave me more appreciation for Heathers.
Yeah.
Like that,
Same.
that Heathers is like I'm kind of like, "Oh, I like how cheesy and edgy it is." And that's kind of fun. Where Ferris Bueller is like a really solid movie.
Yeah.
But like I don't really care about Ferris. I don't think he's that charming, personally.
Oh, you know
so-
who he reminds me of the most is Cartman from South Park. If he lost a ton of weight, like he's a psychopath, dude. Like
Dude, that
he's just
actually-
a manipulative.
That's a great, that's a great like connection there because that totally tracks. Like he's got Cartman energy.
He does.
Like
He's just like it's just like he just like leaned into it and became popular, whereas everyone hates Cartman. That's like the only difference. It's like
Right,
if
well, 'cause
Cartman
Cartman's-
was more of like behind the mask.
yeah,
of-
sure.
That is Matthew Broderick's dead boyish looks. All right, this we didn't even say. This is the Cult of Cinema Knowledge. That's Jordan Bueller. I'm Levi Bueller, and we're talking about. So this, our brains are fried. We've been going through a lot of crazy life stuff lately,
and we've got a whole list of movies.
We've already forgotten about this last month. September has been back to school like type movies, but it's days until October, so we've just got horror movies on the brain. So it's kind of like, forgive us. We were like, I had to put this on last night, and it was like, I want to watch a horror movie. Like, I know, Ferris
right?
Bueller.
Yeah. I know. I watched Ferris Bueller. Well, so another thing, I had probably the greatest experience watching Ferris Bueller because I watched it with my mother, who was a Ferris Bueller type in the sense that she was like 20 when this movie came out. Maybe 19. She like just graduated high school and like saw this movie in theaters. I don't know why she's not down here right now, just doing the pod for me.
She should
sit in for me, and I can actually sleep for once.
She's Ferris's sister. I can see. It's like your mom. Like
totally, yeah. I know, yeah. I don't even remember her name, Kathleen Bueller.
Like Jean.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
But her friends call her Shauna. Shauna.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Jeannie. Yeah, that is. Yeah, and they're like, "Come here, Jeannie." Like, God, that's great, dude. Yeah, that's really fun. I love that.
That's so. You know what? That's so fun. We have fun here.
Yeah.
But
I think this is an appropriate movie to watch as the last film because he doesn't actually go to school, so that's pretty fascinating.
But a fair amount takes place in the school and around. It's like so school centric, but yeah, without really being about school. It's interesting. So for the folks at home, I mean, everyone's seen this movie practically. I mean, not everyone, but like it is very widely. It's popular. It's widely regarded.
Like that of a Home Alone, like you know, it's like the movie is built into its poster and title.
Yeah,
it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and you see him that cocky kid leaning back and
he does. He's got
he's
got
so
that boyish
super
charm,
cool.
dude. He's got that boyish charm. But for the kids at home, all the youngsters that probably haven't gotten around to watching this one yet,
who are like 1998, like the 1900s. We don't watch movies from the 1900s, bro.
I know.
that's what the kids say.
Yeah, right. So, what's this? Give us a quick plot synopsis. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
I mean, I can do it because it's.
Right.
I mean, it's just super fast. Like,
yeah, lay it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just some random school day for Ferris Bueller. He wakes up. He's wrought with disease and sickness, and his parents are very sympathetic to him. And he's like, I need to skip school. And his parents go, sure, no problem, honey. We love you. You're
poor
literally
thing.
The favorite.
Yeah.
You're the favorite child. Well, it turns out that Ferris was pulling a little switcheroo on them, and he was fine. Ferris was fine the whole time, and he was doing this to have a day off. He just wanted a day off from school.
This is his ninth day off. Get a grip, Ferris.
No, I mean literally though, yeah. And so Ferris, with his dong out and his super cool hacking abilities, totally takes his attendance down to 2 absences. So now he's saved. He's totally fine. But anyways.
So what's this movie about, Jordan?
Cameron.
We eventually find out by the end of the movie he's not actually sick.
Really though, by the end of it. Yeah, would that be cool if he really was sick and he was terminal?
I know.
It's
This is like we got your results back, Ferris. You're you got it. You got the AIDS.
Yes. Sorry, buddy. No,
Actually does need a kidney.
So Ferris takes the day off from school, and he
his friend Cameron, who is actually sick.
Well, like he's got gyrophobia or whatever. What's that word called? Oh my God, he's a hypochondriac, and he's afraid of outside.
Yeah,
he's just a nerd. And this is their seniors, and so they kind of they want, like, Ferris wants to take his buddy Cameron out for a fun ramp around town. They're in Chicago, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
So the city's just as much of a part of the movie as these 2 kids running around it, and they get their girlfriend Sloane out of school, and so it's comical, and the villain is a real life villain who is really hunting down children like he tried to do in real life, and so
the principal, Mr. Rooney
he knows that Ferris is too popular, and he's pulling a con on him. And he knows that Ferris is ditched. And so he's like, I'm not going to be made a fool of. I'm not going to be mocked. And so he goes after Ferris in kind of a subdued way. He goes to his home.
B plot where he's trying to break into Ferris's house and do all this stuff. And his sister is also trying to catch Ferris in the act, is kind of like the B plot. And, they go around, and they take Cameron's dad's car, who's a Jaguar. And
his dad's a Jaguar.
Yeah.
So Cameron's dad, like, he's really protective of the car, and the car gets. There's a lot of little funny B plots in this movie. A, B, and C plots where, like, there's little bits. And so they take the car and they park it in the city, and then the valets, they take it out for a joyride, and so that's kind of happening in the background. And what's fun about this movie is, like, while they're out on the town, they're, like, in the city, and they keep getting seen on, like, television at a baseball game. And then Ferris Bueller, he goes to a parade, and he's in the middle. He's on a float, singing on a float, and that's, like, the big iconic scene in this whole movie. And and then he runs home, and his sister's super jealous of him and his popularity, and she knows that he's, like, faking, and so she's like, you can't fake around me. I know I'm not the favorite child because I'm a girl, I guess. I don't really quite understand why they hate her so much, but
because she's annoying as fuck.
she kisses a coke addict, and then she goes home. And as they're going home, Ferris is heading there because he has to be home at 6 sharp, because that's when the parents are going to be there, and he has to be in bed so he can pull off the greatest heist of all time. Is pretending that he was sick to his parents.
All right.
He makes a run to it. He gets home. And you know what?
I feel more confused.
Life doesn't pass him by.
It doesn't.
He stops and he watches it. And
so
he looks at life. And
the actual protagonist of this movie is Cameron Fry. And they fuck up the car situation. He goes, like, catatonic. And he actually is the only character who has any growth. And he has to, like, change and, like, confront his dad. But then they wreck the car, and Ferris is like, the whole reason I did this is to I needed to push you to change your life because I'm your friend and I'm great. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm great, and I'm going to leave you behind when I go to school, so I need to make sure you're okay for myself because I'm a narcissist.
Yeah. And he was,
Which you forgot about that when you're talking about cokeheads.
I know, right?
But... So that's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Thanks for listening. Be sure to come back next week for.
That's how we That's how they go. If you don't like those synopses, go read a synopsis and then come back. Skip to 9 minutes and 40 seconds into this.
Oh yeah.
Episode.
After we're at 9 minutes and 40, like fuck. So anyway,
Man, yeah.
this what is your relationship with this movie? Like, because obviously we've both seen it before.
I would say.
Has
that
it been
it's
a while?
pretty
Like, how do
equitable.
you?
We're friends.
How did you
Like,
feel
I like
about
this
it?
film.
Like going into it now and watching it like yesterday. Like, has it changed? When was the last time you watched it before this?
No. This movie for me, it's a genuine sustained smile that I'm like, oh, this is, I'm feeling like a twinge of nostalgia that isn't really mine. I'm like, it's vicarious through like Gen X, like people who were teenagers at this time. I can watch it and be like, oh, this is kind of fun. And definitely, I mean, that's the thing about John Hughes. He like does a really good job at kind of world building without it being that deep or that important. Like all of his movies, he does capture some youthful, like teenage kind of angst, but he makes it fun. It doesn't, he never gets, even in like Breakfast Club, like his most like titular, that's where he like broke down all the groups and he got them together, and it is a character study, like to the T. It still kind of like captures some youth, but then feels kind of overwritten, and I don't know. I like it, but then I'm also just kind of left like, yeah, it's fine. I like it.
Yeah. I'm glad that we ended up watching a John Hughes movie and Ferris Bueller's Day Off because I think it's the best.
Yeah.
Because it's like for school movies, it's like kind of makes sense. I've had Ferris Bueller on a couple of polls in the past and it's never won, so makes sense to watch it for this genre. You know what I mean? So it kind of fits in. Like you said, it's a perfect kind of end to everything to kind of like encapsulate this type of movie. I say school movie, but it's not even just about the school. The only movie we watched that was like really in school was like Mean Girls, but
really.
But it's like that teenage high school and kind of vibe, and that what it's like to be on an island killing your friends. Oh wait, that was Battle Royale.
Wait, yeah.
But this movie, I'm bummed. What I said earlier, like I feel like a curmudgeon and like a grumpy old man, is because in my memory I'm like, this is like a 4-star movie. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Like this is cute. It's just a good time.
Dude, I totally get what you're saying.
But then watching it, I'm like, this is like a 3-star movie to me now.
Yeah. No, dude, that's a great way to say it, because it's like that's how I picture how epic it is. And it's always like the scene when they go to the building and they put their heads down and they look down and it's like quiet and reflective, literally. And like I don't know, I love that scene so much. Like just a moment like to be quiet.
Yeah.
But watching it this time, I don't know, I kind of didn't feel the same. So maybe I'm just like getting older, kind of farther away from that teen. Like the teen wonder, like I have no more joy in my heart. I don't know, like what's gonna. There's no future. They're all like happy about the future.
Maybe that's why we could connect more to like something like Heathers. It's like because it's like I still felt that angst, but this movie like it doesn't have the angst like you're saying, but it does. It's weird because
edge.
Well, here's the thing,
if you will.
I'm gonna compare this movie to Heathers a lot, so just deal with it because so like Heathers was this teenage bubble, like anger and messiness all together, where this movie feels like a grown-up wrote a movie that's like what they remember what it was like to be a teenager, but they tried to make it kind of adult, and then they also tried to make it like a cartoon, and it's just kind of met in the middle. Because like I hated how much, because like sometimes there's like a fair amount of cussing and some like risque type stuff, and like like there is some reflective moments, and like it gets really deep and heavy with Cameron near the end, just kind of out of nowhere. I mean, not out of nowhere. It works for his character, but but then in the next instance, like Mr. Rooney, it's like literally like whoop, 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 like he's Mr. Magoo, dude, and it's
you
like
have no idea the mud when he puts his foot in the
it's
mud.
so dumb.
No, I literally was like, this isn't. I don't remember that because it's like such a small detail, but like I'm just like that is so. It's so like it's a disservice to your movie.
I remember
This movie's like gross, like still like unbelievably popular. So it's not like like whatever, but it's still just like that. I'm just like kind of like, oh, that doesn't really hold up.
I think it's unbelievably popular because like it is so unoffensive. Like it kind of just like.
And that's John Hughes. That's
Yeah,
what John Hughes
exactly.
does.
Like
he's the Spielberg of teen comedies. Like,
hey,
you know.
like that's a diss to Spielberg, man. At least Spielberg, he I know you're not. Come on, dude. The
No,
guy
Spielberg
directed
isn't.
Jaws. He did fucking like you are such a Spielberg hater, man. I don't even.
I
wanna...
know, but no, I know. I'm more of like Spielberg is mid, dude. He's good. He's like he's great. He's
Well, he's
you know,
only mid. He's only mid because he has so many movies and some of them are
he
bad.
has so many
So
bad movies. Yeah,
average.
okay,
But that's the thing.
okay.
If you took
Yeah.
the cream of his crop, if you took Spielberg's top 5, top 10 movies, they're some of the best movies ever made.
I wouldn't go that far, but sure.
Yeah, bud.
I get.
They,
what you're saying.
I would. All right, we're gonna have
I
an
know, we're
entire.
gonna- we'll-
I don't
we'll-
love.
yeah, we're gonna-
I don't
yeah.
love Spielberg, but I do have to
I'm-
defend him from you because you're a psycho.
It's like Francis Ford Coppola. Like his movies he's not. He like I like all of his films.
But
and he's a
Francis-
strong filmmaker.
so,
but like
Francis
he's only
Ford
made like
Coppola-
3 good movies.
Francis
period.
Ford Coppola has
Same with
only
Spielberg.
made. Oh, no, shut the fuck up.
Okay, you
Fran-
guys.
Listen.
I mean,
listen. Listen.
You guy.
Francis Ford
You're getting out of
Coppola
hand.
has only made like 6 movies. Spielberg has made like 100 movies.
No, he hasn't, man. He's probably. I bet you he hasn't even made 30 movies.
I bet he's made 50.
No.
I bet- I
and
guarant-
so,
I'm
oh
looking
my
it
god,
up.
it's
I'm looking
turning
it
into
up.
a-
I don't even
well, okay,
care.
while you're looking that up, I just wanted to say real quick. This is crazy, dude. Do you know what's wild? John Hughes. I thought that he directed like 50 movies. He's only directed like 3.
Yeah,
or like 5 movies. Like,
There's a
dude,
couple movies I thought he did, and I'm like, I looked it up
He
when
just-
I was doing it. I'm like, that's not John Hughes.
Yeah.
Like Pretty in Pink.
He-
That's not John Hughes.
No, because he wrote it. That's the whole thing. He
That
wrote,
makes sense. Yeah.
He wrote he's directed 8 films. Directed 8 films and he's written 53. And they're all like all the 53 that he wrote are pretty fucking popular. pretty big in there, dude. Like Beethoven, dude. Don't even get me started. But it's crazy. Like Home Alone, obviously.
Spielberg has
But he-
directed 47 films.
Yeah, no, he hasn't.
But yeah, he has. Here, I'll read them all right now. I'm gonna read them all.
No, don't you dare. Spielberg's fine, dude. I don't care. I said he's mid. It doesn't mean that he's like bad.
You know, but you know what is weird is that Catch Me If You Can is like the top rated one. That's weird. That one's like fine.
That's really weird. Yeah.
That's like top 10, but not. It's not top 5.
Whatever, dude. How about planes, trains, and automobiles? How
I'm
about
gonna
that?
do. He didn't even do that.
I know that's what I mean. That's what's crazy is like I associate him with all these movies. Like I thought he directed Uncle Buck, and I thought he directed Home Alone. I thought he directed Pretty in Pink. I think he did direct. He directed 16 Candles, right?
No.
No.
Oh wait, no,
Did he-
yeah, John Hughes. Yeah.
Oh no.
John
Did he?
Hughes.
Are you sure? Now I'm getting
Yeah,
myself.
John Hughes. I forget that he did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yeah.
Oh, did he direct that one? too?
Which
I was thinking, yeah, he's only
which-
directed 8 movies. It's
I
crazy.
lied. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the best John Hughes movie. I lied. But
I know,
it's
Baby
not.
Chainsaw.
It, but
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
that's
what
not
he's
him.
known. It's not what he's known for. All right, we'll circle it back to John Hughes.
Yeah,
I get heated. Fucking Jordan over here is just. He's such a fucking.
Well, it's like,
You're the Ferris Bueller.
no. I think that Spielberg. Comparing him to John Hughes is so apt. That works perfectly, dude. Like
I
they're
get
like exactly the same. Like I mean, John Hughes has not directed as many films, but he's written 53, and I bet you.
Yeah.
45 of them are iconic. You would know them if I said that movie. You'd have seen it or
You
known
just
it,
hate movies that are popular just because they're popular. Just
No,
admit
oh
it.
my god, no, dude! It's like Ready Player One and then BFG. Like, get real. dude. He's made
BFG
some
is
stinkers.
good,
He's
dude.
made some. He's made some stinkers.
You've never
dude.
even watched BFG. Don't.
And I didn't
fucking
like the
lie.
Fablemans either, but that's that's.
You didn't
a
like
whole
what?
different reason. The Fablemans.
I liked it. I didn't think it was great, but dude, Hook, fucking
See?
Bridge
Oh
of
my God.
Spies.
Oh my heavens!
No, I'm starting at the bottom. I'm starting at
No,
the bottom.
dude,
Close
you're-
Encounters,
no, okay. Are we
all the
getting here?
Indiana Jones, which you've never even seen.
No, I've never seen them, and they're
Fucking
fine. That's the whole
E.T.,
thing.
which E.T. kind of sucks. It's
No, and that's funny
overrated.
because I really like E.T. I love
Saving
Jaws,
Private
dude.
Ryan,
Jaws is
Jaws,
amazing.
Schindler's
It's-
List, Jurassic
Oh my
Park,
heavens! Yes, I know, and I
Get-
like those movies.
Minority Report, dude. Get lost.
I don't really like Minority Report, but it's like I like.
It's because it's Tom Cruise, though. I get that.
Well, no, and yeah,
That's
not
the.
Tom
It's
Cruise,
not
like-
Spielberg. It's Tom Cruise in that one that bums me out.
right. Yeah.
I mean, he's
like,
perfect for it, but still.
Kind of right. Yeah, I mean, I like him more than like in Alien movie, whatever that one's called.
War of the World.
But yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
God, can we focus for a minute, please?
We have to
Because I
fill
could start
time
reading you- I know, because I'm kind of done already talking about it. But I'm going to tell you the 8 movies that he's directed, and you tell me if you've heard every single one of them, which is crazy because I didn't. Yeah, so he did do 16 Candles. He did do The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller, Planes, Trains, and then She's Having a Baby, which I've never heard of. So there's one, and then Uncle Buck and Curly Sue.
Huh?
He's
He
directed-
did
he's-
Weird Science.
Yeah, he directed Weird Science. But it's like you've heard of all of those except maybe She's Having a Baby and Curly Sue. But I've seen Curly Sue. But She's Having a Baby, I don't know. It's probably.
I know,
All
because
of his movies are
you're
all of his movies
obsessed
are a
with
little bit-
John Candy.
I know, not
You
really.
are Uncle Buck.
No, dude, I don't really like. I don't even. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a good film.
It's all right.
I'm not a big John Candy fan, honestly.
Yeah, it's fine. I like it just because, not because of
But
John
I mean,
Candy.
but
though.
like he's written some of the greatest. Home Alone, dog, Beethoven. He did Flubber.
you're trying.
Get out
You're
of here.
sitting over here. You're sitting over here, fucking knocking like Schindler's List, and you're like, dude, but Flubber. Like,
No, it's like that's the thing. Spielberg, Schindler's List, Jaws, and Jurassic Park, the only good movies he's ever directed. Saving
fucking
Private
Raider.
Ryan, I know that's the whole thing. I'm not a big, even though
You've
I've
never
never seen
even
them.
seen
I
it,
know.
loser.
I know I can't. I know, but it's like I've seen Star Wars, and so Star Wars is one of the greatest films ever made.
No,
and
it
so
isn't.
I can
Go-
I know, dude.
Go
That's what I'm
listen to
saying.
that episode.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? You're gonna sit here right now and try to defend that Star Wars isn't popular? Isn't considered like
Oh.
a fantastic film? Like, what are you talking about? That's what I'm comparing to Raiders.
No, dude, you're losing
you were-
it.
you are-
Raiders
no,
is
dude,
so
you
much
are-
better.
You are off base,
Dude,
my
no
good
way.
friend.
No, wait. Go listen to
I'm
that
getting
Star
it
Wars
back.
episode.
Mr. Mom, dude, don't even get me started. Mr.
Wait, he
Mom?
wrote Mr. Mom.
Yeah, dude. He wrote
did.
Beethoven. You can't even get me started
You
on
know,
that dog.
you can. The fact that he wrote so many of those movies really did put like a flavor on like kind of like the
National Lampoons?
'80s,
Dude.
like the '80s like vibe for
Vacation.
like these like lighter.
That's
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
don't
he
know
was
what
he
it
was
is.
in it. Like the fact that like I guess it's just like film was like really ratcheting up in the 80s. Like home entertainment was the thing, dude.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
a good
He
point.
wrote Vacation, dude. It's like crazy how like he was there. He was there like in the scene.
It's weird that
right
he
then,
wrote
man.
so many iconic movies because it's like, but you don't hear about it as much, you know? Because I do forget, like, I knew he wrote like way more movies than he directed, but it's like I didn't know he wrote all those like kind of like quote unquote classics, right? Which is because I always knew that he wrote Home Alone, but every time I watch Home Alone, I'm always like, I see him in the credits, I'm like, oh, John Hughes, I know that guy.
Well,
Weird.
dude, I know it's funny.
But it's
because
weird. He's got
I
his
thought he
little
dir-
fucking doughy fingers and everything. You know
Well,
what
that's
I
the
mean?
thing. I thought he directed it because Ferris Bueller's Day Off is like it's the proto Home Alone.
That's
Like,
true.
I mean,
He's,
builds
like,
the
talking to the
contraption.
camera and
He's got
everything,
this talking to the camera. He's kind of got the same energy. You know, he's
And
loved by his parents. But
Kevin
you know.
is going to grow up to be a serial killer also, just like Ferris Bueller.
No, Ferris Bueller, he's not going to grow up to be a serial killer. He's going to grow up. Him and Sloane, they're going to have a kid, and they're going to be like, they're going to be fine, and they'll probably get a divorce. when
No,
he's, like,
dude.
40.
Him and Sloane, they're gonna crash and burn in their early 20s, and he's gonna become an investment banker, and just like a soulless
and then
investment
try
banker.
to give ATMs cats and stuff. Yeah,
right.
I can see that.
So, but like, all right, going back to like my
Yeah,
issue with this movie.
What are your first impressions here?
No,
'Cause
well,
you're just in a hateful mood now because I just said I didn't like Spielberg that much, and you're like, you're like,
you compared him to Spielberg, his directing, and I'm like, that's
oh
off
my
point.
God,
That's off base,
so-
man. That's way off
so-
base.
That's so apt, dude. No,
That's
don't
a
even get me
fucking.
started.
That's
I'm
a
gonna,
fucking.
I'm gonna make my own
all right,
YouTube
all right, shut up, shut up.
video essay about how they're like the same.
I wish you would, because you can't back that up.
Oh my God.
Right, I want to see
I'm
some.
like, now you're getting me.
I want to see some
I'm
peer
tired,
review.
but I might
Some
just
peer
I might
review.
Just start, I'm just gonna start like slapping something.
All right,
together.
folks at home, can you come and comment?
know,
Like, I
please.
get your sentiment. I get your sentiment, but it's
No, am I?
you're
God,
wrong.
I wish
John
we
Hughes,
need-
like Breakfast Club. Ferris Bueller is mid.
Go
at
make
best.
a go make
That's
a
his best
poll.
movie. That's
make
his
a
best
poll
movie.
on Reddit. Make a poll on
Okay,
Reddit.
okay.
So Spielberg and John Hughes similar? Yes or no? And see what
No, I'm just gonna say
I'm dead
either
fucking serious.
or. Either or.
No.
Well, they're similar-
It has to be that they're similar.
They're
See, Now
similar-
you're, oh my god! Now you're like agreeing with me.
No,
Get
they're
out of-
similar
get
because they're
out
both
of here. I
pretty.
waterboard you.
They're like pretty sanitized when it comes to a lot of stuff. Like they're what you think of when you think of
Is that?
Hollywood.
Can we go back? Let's go back. Well, how many minutes? We gotta let's go back like 9 minutes, and you can hear me.
They're only similar because they're both like so quote unquote Hollywood, especially
And
80s
you said they're safe,
Hollywood.
and that's what I'm saying.
80s
They're
80s
safe.
specifically because like that's the thing. It's like in the
It's not that
80s
they're bad.
John Hughes was in control of like basically the family comedy, and Spielberg was in control of like the family adventure movie. So it's like them being part of like the Hollywood machine in that way, especially now knowing or like realizing that John Hughes wrote so many of those movies. Like it really that comparison makes sense, but they're two totally different filmmakers. But
And that's and I would never say that they're similar filmmakers, but I would say they have a similar style. And you already just backed it up too with like
Style?
within Hollywood.
yeah, they're
But
both like
they're
the
both-
Hollywood version, the like lowest common, because like
No, I think they're like really safe, and they both like everything they write is like really concise and like. I guess. Well, dude,
Spielberg
we
doesn't
didn't
write.
talk about we didn't talk about Shawshank. Well, I know, but he's
and he
he's
didn't
part of
direct
the process.
Shawshank.
Oh, he didn't. Was he just an executive producer?
No, he had nothing to do with it. It's Frank Darabont.
Really?
I don't think. Well, he might
I'm
have
tripping
been
out, dude.
executive
I'm tripping
producer.
out.
Well, okay,
I'm
don't
pretty
go.
sure he
Do not
Okay.
go down that route. You're so fucking derailed.
No, oh my god, I'm
Dude,
derailed.
you're
You're the one who
derailed.
had to go and read a list of fucking Spielberg movies.
Dude.
Like I wouldn't know.
You don't know. You never.
Well, now
even
I
seen
gotta
him.
know because now the Shawshank is really bothering me. I
He
swear to
might
God.
have. He didn't direct it for sure as Frank Darabont, but like,
Right.
but you don't want to go down the executive producer route because
I'm looking.
fucking
oh, yeah.
Spielberg is the executive producer in more
I know,
movies
yeah,
than John Hughes wrote. You know what I mean? He's
No,
got
for reals.
He's got his grubby fingers
And
and
that's-
everything.
Well, that is actually something
But
that's kind of cool. Is
it's 'cause his power-
He's
he's
and he's a
keen-
student filmmaker who like
But
has kind of helped people. But I mean, I don't know. Then he got lost in the sauce.
he is who we have to blame for George Lucas, though. So that's why I
know,
hate
right?
him.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Spielberg, is because he's what made George Lucas is fucking the monster.
Oh, maybe he doesn't have anything to do with
So
it.
talking about actual, I'm gonna just cut all this.
I don't really know. Do you want to get back to?
No,
Back to the
talking
movie, I
about
don't even
actual
know.
Ferris Bueller, because it's like this movie's got jokes, and it breaks the fourth wall well, and it's like he is charming. Ferris Bueller is charming, but it's just like there are some good running jokes that are so good, but it's just like then it cuts to shit I just do not care about at all and isn't funny. It does feel like this time around, like in my mind, I'm remembering like, oh, okay, this is quirky and cute. And some of it is, you know what I mean? It's like the chemistry between Sloane and Ferris is great. And like the chemistry with Ferris and everyone, to be honest. Like Matthew Broderick is really good at like being like this charming, charismatic
Dude,
in the movie to other people.
I can only think of Matthew Broderick as 30 Rock.
I know.
when he's like we don't have beds.
Cooter
like,
Burger.
It's he's he's good at
No.
that. That's where like I'm like I like Matthew Broderick, so I like him in this movie. Like I'm more
I
comfortable with
like that
enjoying
he
him.
killed 2 women.
Like-
I always got to remember that.
Yeah, I got you off the rails, but I think that my favorite relationship, which is such a bummer because the principal's a creep, so it's like it's a fucking
Oh, the principal and the assistant,
he's
dude?
he's a pedophile, but their chemistry is hilarious.
I know.
Like,
Once he
the
leaves the
assistant's
school, it
great.
sucks.
Really though, yeah. Like all the bits in like with them in the school is
Solid. One of the hardest laughs I got in this movie, because it is, like you said, it's mostly smiles. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, that's cute, and it's like the running joke of Ferris being sick is the best. Like how that just keeps evolving,
Really?
and
the
the
parents,
save
that is
Ferris.
actually-
So
that's actually something that I love. Oh, yeah, Save Ferris is great, but the thing I really love is that the parents aren't explained. Like I really thought like there was a reason behind it, or I
Dude,
thought there was something.
they're
but the
cartoon
are-
parents. They're just like they may as well just have their heads out of frame. Like
I know, for reals though. Yeah,
the
like, or
dad,
they're just,
the
like-
dad is
they're,
so
like, super
oblivious, it's
sitcom-y.
annoying. Yeah, yeah.
I know, right? And they do. That's the thing. This movie just has those bits, man. That's what he was
No,
doing.
but the bit that got me, because I never noticed it. It's such a small line when they're freaking out. Because like early on, this movie starts out pretty strong. So it's like early on when he does the fake out call, and he's like, wait, Ferris Bueller's on line 2, and then it does the super horror music zoom in. It's pretty good.
Right.
But
yeah.
when they're panicking, and Alan Rook, Cameron is on the phone and is doing the voice, but he the principal hands it to the fucking assistant, and she's like, doing the
Like, and he's like,
and
calm
he's
down.
like, calm down. It's like, I don't know what it is, like these two people faking to be someone else. He's just like, calm down, man.
Yeah.
Got me. It got
I
me.
mean, and that,
But
and that's
it's
like
it's
so
silly. That's the
silly,
thing. It's
yeah.
silly. Like this movie is way sillier than I remember.
and I think that's like what people wanted is just like low stakes. But there's like zero. I mean, him getting home on time is like the ticking time bomb, and like it's just fun. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
See, that's
so like.
That's what irks
And
me
that's-
kind
and
of
that's
too,
where
is
I'm like,
because
yeah, that's exactly. That's where I'm like, there's no edge.
Well, no, that's
the
fine,
header.
but like,
But
that's why Cameron is the real protagonist, is because he has stakes. He I feel like if this entire movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they just did it from Cameron's perspective, it'd be like an engaging, like dark comedy that it's just like he's grappling with life, a good coming of age.
I think that it would be super bad. That was my watching this dynamic. I was like, oh, it's like the plot in this is the catalyst is just for him to like give his friend a good time before they go their separate ways, because he kind of just knows like school's going to end soon, and we're not going to be together, and we're not going to try to be together. And like it's very subtle in this movie, whereas Superbad, like that is the plot, is that like it's like, oh man, one guy's bummed that they're not going to be together in college, and so like
that's a
kind
good
of like, let's have one more night to party, and like one more night to really like be friends, like
That's a good
try to
point.
capture that lightning in the bottle.
But
And
it's
so,
like
yeah.
in that movie, in Superbad, like that is a good point. That's a good evolution of like that kind of
Right.
dynamic for sure.
That's like the vibe I got
But
the whole time. I was
yeah,
like, oh yeah.
but in Superbad is like
I love Superbad though, so it's like
it's a million
I think
times
it's for
better,
our
but-
generation.
yeah,
It
is, it
that's
is.
the thing. Yeah.
But it's like they're both the main character. You know what I mean? It's like it's not, it's not
Yeah.
fucking Jonah Hill. I forget the characters' names. It's not Seth and Evan. It's not Seth's day out. It's not Evan's day out. It's Superbad. It's about both of them equally, and I think that's why the relationship works. Where in this movie, it's definitely like Cameron's the sidekick, even though he's the one with the real drama. But I guess that's John Hughes all over it. That's a perfect thing of like, we want the drama to be totally like on a side character. Like, you know what I mean? The sidekick has all the drama, where Ferris Bueller, man, he's just got to get home because by the end of it and have a great day. Because the best scene in this entire movie is the chase at the end. It's great. That's my favorite scene by far. The fucking chase at the end. I know we're jumping to that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, when he I got a kick out of the bit when he stops like the bikini girls, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Ferris." Like,
I know.
it's like, but it's like that is so safe. Where it's like it's not super overly grotesque. He doesn't like honk their boobs or anything. So it's like, but it's just enough sexism that you're like, okay, dope. Like, it's just that's Ferris's character. And so I like the chase scene. I don't know what I think. Actually no, I know what my favorite I like that shot is like beautiful, where I'm like, I remember this thinking like, oh, this is more of like a film, and then like watching it this time, I'm like, oh no, this is just like pure straight just comedy, like just teenage comedy. There's not really that much
Popcorn
cinema happening. Yeah, it's very popcorn flick, and just kind of a very like just bits.
You talking about the
that
slow-mo?
come together?
No.
Slow-mo.
Them looking out the windows. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I was talking about that shot I
That
really
you
liked,
thought
but,
was cinema?
Yeah,
Back in the
that's
day?
cinema.
Well,
Right, yeah.
to be fair, I mean, like, yeah, because everything is like very just staged, very classically. You know what I mean? And like
It's a comedy. That's
but
that. Yeah, like firsthand.
The thing that also gets me is, but like the edits were good. You know what I mean? I honestly think the edits worked well to the comedy. There were some good jump cuts to like for a joke, which I appreciate when a comedy isn't just all just like dialogue. You know what I mean? It's like I
Yeah.
want the filmmakers to be involved in the
Oh, no,
comedy more.
he does some good like slapstick for
But
sure. That
the music pissed me off a lot this time around. Because
really?
and that was
like just
so
like the needle drops or like just
kind
throughout?
of. Well, there's not like the needle drops, I guess, but like more like the use of like, so they, for example, like every time they have just such quirky, wacky, it literally is like Tom and Jerry music when he's like breaking into the house and stuff. And it's just like so on the nose. Like I like when the horror movie stuff comes in and like, you know, Date Bow Bow's fun. That's fine.
Well, it's wild. They use, speaking of Spielberg, they use the Star Wars theme,
Which
where it's like, what do you like?
That was that pissed me off because it's like,
Well, you can tell
they paid how much money to use the Star Wars theme, which again is not Spielberg, but fucking
sure, but
they
like,
paid how much money to use that John Williams score for that one scene, and it's like, okay, I get it, they're flying through the air, but it's like any other epic music would have been kind of funnier to me. I don't know, maybe at the time, like if I would have saw this in the mid to late 80s.
Dude, this really is like a pop culture. Like the whole time we're watching it, there's so many. I mean, they talk about Alien and like he's got like the synthesizer and he like hacks in the computer and like it all seems like this like like we like middle class kids that are just like scamps, and so it's like he can hack into the computer and that's like really fun. And like
I like that Cameron had a Detroit Red Wings shirt on the whole time. I enjoyed that as a recent hockey fan.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it took me a minute. I was like, wait, are they in Detroit? Because he's wearing the Detroit, like, because they do that in movies a lot, right? Where they like put him in a like a local team.
Are they in Boston? Where I'm like, what? They're not in New York.
Well, later, when they started doing all the newspapers and they're like, oh, it's Chicago, and I'm like, oh, okay,
right.
It's Chicago,
when he says he's like he's like you're the sausage king of Chicago, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's Chicago. Well, and that's funny. That's like there's a lot of stuff in here that's fun that like a Zoomer watching would be like, well, you can't ever get away with this. That's impossible.
It's that's what I'm saying though. Like this time, it's sort of like a horror movie, dude. Like this did prep me for horror movies because fucking like he is charming and stuff, but he literally says during that scene, the Sausage King bit when they're trying to get into the restaurant, he literally like turns to the camera and he says, A, you can never go too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, B, Ferris always wins. He doesn't say that, but he may well.
Yeah.
Like he will go to any limit. And it's like, even the comes around or it's like, oh, okay. The actual background important stuff is like
you hate Ferris Bueller so much.
I actually really like him. I just think he's terrifying, kind of, because like he's like he just seems like such a little sociopath, dude.
He gets away with too much for sure. Yeah,
well,
like I'm not on the principal side because I'm not a fucking square.
Yeah,
but but I'm on Cameron's side. Like I'm like. Ferris, no consequences happen, and that's not healthy for somebody to have no consequences.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's every decision he does in the movie, it's like they try to sometimes frame it as selfless, but it's like it always comes down to him. Sometimes, I mean, like that's what it comes around to is like, oh, okay,
right.
But it's always some manipulative, fucking push people's buttons, see what you can get away with, like just self-absorbed. Shit, that's just like it freaks me out. But it's like Matthew Broderick's kind of perfect for it because it's like he in this he's got such the boyish, like I don't know, he is very like his like what really sold it for me is like right at the very end when his sister when she winks at him, it's like, you know what, we hate each other but like we're brother and sister, so like I obviously still got your back because we're family.
And we hate the man. Like,
fuck
screw teachers. Like
fuck the man, but like. His look on his face, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. When he's just being sincere and hot and sweaty. Like, I get it, Matthew Broderick. Cooter Burger, there's not a leak, you know? I've looked into it, and there's not a leak.
There's not a leak. Dude, he's writing with a tack.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm not even going to publish this episode. Do you want to talk about Steven Spielberg some more?
You want to put it in? I don't know, man.
No, I'm kidding.
Like,
so
this movie is actually pretty wild, though. Like, the end credit scene is throughout the entire credits.
Oh, I didn't even watch that.
I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that does that.
That's fun. So. The entire credits, huh? I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like to have like the end and the end, and it's a solid, like, it's perfect because it doesn't fit in the movie at all. Like it would derail the whole film, but dude, I wish they had that more. Where like it's a perfect like cap to the whole film. Like it totally shows who this character is, and it's his aftermath, but it's just one simple scene that would not work in the whole movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's really funny. It's one of my favorite scenes, like, in this whole film, is just him getting on the bus and having to sit with the children he hates, and like, you know, it's just like the principal against. And that's what John Hughes does, dude.
Yeah.
He does fun like, you know, kids against adults. And you can't really like fault him for that.
Yeah, and lighthearted in a way that's not like Christian Slater killing everyone.
I know. Well, right. Yeah, and it's like, there. I feel like he's just a good writer. He doesn't really put passion into his, like, or he doesn't put, you know, like, he does. He's good at just like observing and being like, oh, this is how children feel.
If anything, people say we're edgelords, or my wife does, and we're always like, we wish things were edgier. We don't like Spielberg and John Hughes because they're so safe, right? And that is true, because I agree with that. You know what I mean? But fucking, that's the thing. It's like there's no risks to his movies, to his writing style, and it's like the biggest risk. I mean, I have to go through his whole filmography probably, but like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles being R-rated just for one scene, dropping a lot of F-bombs, like that's the biggest risk John Hughes ever took in a movie. And it's like, that's nothing. And it's like, that's why it's like, we see film as art, and we like our art to have some risk, man. We want our artists to put it on the line. And it's like, this does feel like writing for an assignment, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like
but it's good. It's an A. You're gonna get an A grade, but it's fine. You know, I don't know.
Well, we've been watching a lot of films that are like 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's weird. It's like the film structure of like writing a script and shooting the movie. It's like all you really need is that you need the low point, which can be really quick, and you need like the character resolution before the climax of them making up. And it like and that can be like, that's the, like, people watch this movie once and they remember him being like, I just wanted to give my buddy Cameron a good day before we split up, you know, as buds. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take the responsibility myself, Ferris. Don't worry. You're so selfless that you fucked up my whole day, and then you were gonna take the blame, which is cool. But you made me grow, and so I love it. And so it's like, and that's what people remember. Where we watch it now, and we're like, well, you need more than that. You need more.
I watch it now, and I say, you know, Ferris actually did it so he could feel better about leaving his friend behind. He didn't actually do it to help Cameron. He did it so he could feel that he accomplished, like, left him with his life change.
True, right. And then that's we could have gotten deeper into that.
Not selfless.
Yeah. But I would love to see a sequel. Dude, there's a sitcom, 1990 to 91, maybe 13 episodes. Where are we been? We need to go look
I
that
understand
up,
because I've talked a lot of shit about this movie, I feel like, but I do like it. That's the thing. It's like, you can't not charming. Like this movie, but I would fucking lay down in traffic if somebody was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's make Ferris Bueller a 12-episode long show. I'd be like, fucking kill me. Like, that's the most nonsense shit.
I watched the trailer for it, and it is like one living room backyard sitcom. So it's not
about what?
It's like one school
about
a
kid just trying not to go to school. Like, what is it about?
No, it seems more like a family school drama than like
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is barely about anything as is.
It's Boy Meets World, like
all right.
That's
it's just dude, fucking Rooney.
No, okay,
you know?
I remember what I was gonna say earlier. The scene that bothers me the most is when the sister kicks the principal in the face, and she's like, "I've got this crazy intruder," but then at the end she's like, oh, I don't know. She was like, yeah, I know exactly who you are.
She literally goes to his office earlier and is like, is he here?
She talks to him. I swear to God, she talks to him at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, she knows who he is.
And then when he breaks in, she like kicks him, and she's like, "I've got this like crazy person. I don't know who he is. He's in my house." And
I wonder if in the script they imagine him like being like way messier, like unrecognizable, like covered in mud and bruises, because it's like he is disheveled, but it's obviously him.
It's him. Like there's no mistaking it. And I guess you could argue that she saw him for just a second, but she gets like 8 ballerina kicks in there. She gets like
Dude, I forgot.
What kind of
like,
kicks those are.
did he try to kill that dog? Because I'm like, why did that dog pass out?
Just because the pot. You did this. My mom said the same thing. My mom said,
I thought he
"Why
fed
would
him the
flowers
chocolate.
Make him
I thought he fed him
No.
chocolate, and I'm like, oh my god, he killed that dog.
No. My mom was like, "Why?"
I must have
flowers
been.
make
I
him
must
sleepy?
have. I must have missed it.
There's like a broken pot
You're
next
right,
to his
you're right,
next to his
yeah.
head. It's like he just
Yeah,
classic. It's a cartoon.
It
He
is.
dropped it on the.
I'm surprised that a giant goose egg didn't go like.
No,
like
well,
off the top
I'm
of his
surprised he
head.
didn't get his butt bit and then like it ripped like those heart
heart boxers,
underpants underneath. Boxers underneath his pants. Like dude, but that dog was amazing, dude. That was Cujo. That dog was terrifying.
That
he was beautiful,
dog
but it was terrifying.
Did not seem real to me, dude.
No,
It was too
it was
perfect
really
of like
cute,
a Rottweiler.
but yes,
Yeah,
dude,
it was
his
like
teeth,
puffy.
that snarl. I was like, this is beautiful.
I feel like it was a puppet because later, I don't think it actually was, but it was like Uncanny Valley dog for me because like, not only did that look too perfect and too real and like just weirdly clean and freaky, like, and also like, they spent a lot of time at this in this house earlier on, and it's like there's no dog, and then suddenly
no
there's
dog. No even
a
mention of a
snarling hellhound later,
and it's
just
like, and
because
it's,
it's funny.
It's a significant dog too. You
Yeah, that's a dog
Like,
that's like
in
you
his
gotta
room.
feed before you go out. It'll kill you.
Really though, dude. That is a Salem's lot dog,
But,
or like a Cujo
Like
dog.
literally, when the dog's knocked out, they just have like they painted the eyes on him. Did you notice that? Like it's just like, or they put like a little sticker or something to make it look like his eyes are still kind of open. But it's just like I was like. I paused down. I'm like, they're just like painted on. Like, what is that? That is the puppet. Like,
That's
what's
the
happening?
bits, dude. It might actually. Oh, you're right. That could have been a puppet on the ground then.
I hope so.
Just to, I don't know. But dog actors back in the 90s and 80s, dude. Oh my god. Don't get me started on how good
Dude,
dog
we
actors
don't
were.
make dog actors like we used
No,
to.
we don't. We do not. For reals, dude.
You know what I miss? And this is slightly just this. You reminded me of it when you were talking about the end credits. Is I missed when we did bloopers during the end credits. You know,
I know.
Bring it back
Oh,
around,
heavens.
dude. Like I was watching
Yeah.
Toy Story the other day, Toy Story 2, and
Oh, yeah.
the fact that
That's
they
actually really- that's
animated
genius.
the bloopers
Yeah.
specifically
Yeah,
to make it
that's
seem
really
like they're
funny.
like it's fun.
Well,
Like,
dude, do you know
especially in
what,
your comedies. Like in your comedies, give me the bloopers, baby.
Is this the first end credit scene in a movie ever?
No,
Or,
it can't be. Maybe
I know
though.
it can't be, but
Pretty
it
early
might
though.
be.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be, but I mean,
You
I
heard
bet
it here
$1 million
first, folks. Ferris Bueller's Day
Guaranteed.
Off is the first
This is the
end
first
credit
movie ever.
scene ever. Look it up on IMDb under the fucking trivia and facts.
Yeah,
It's there. Quick,
Go
go
to-
hurry
yeah.
and write. I think anyone can edit those. Go write it in.
You can,
Like,
yeah. Just go.
You know what else I miss is the comment section on IMDb. Anyway,
Oh, I know. Well, do you know what I love? Our
Back
comment
before
section
Reddit.
on Reddit and our comment section on YouTube.
so clones are people too. I'm sorry that you, because it's like you're one of the only people listening to this. I'm sure.
Mom, I
Yeah,
really should have had my mom just come do this
I,
episode for
I,
me.
this episode's been a little off the rails, but I did warn you even before we started ranting about Spielberg. We got horror movie on the brain, man. We're not quite there.
We really do. I know, yeah, and I am
and
like
we're sleep deprived.
I think what's hard is like I said this before we started recording. Like this movie is so unassuming and so it's got charm that like I really only have like a paragraph to say about
Well,
it. Like,
there's a permanent spot in my my mind palace that's just like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like I know what it is and I know all about it and I've seen it. This is probably like my 5th time or something.
oh yeah, 10th time probably.
Saw it a handful of times growing up and then it's like, I saw it last time probably like 7 or 8 years ago or whatever. But I watched it yesterday and it already, other than talking about it, like the file for Ferris Bueller's Day Off in my mind palace didn't get any bigger. It's just still, 10 years worth of memory. Like it's just the same. Like it's just, I don't know. It doesn't, it's always there, but it doesn't occupy very much space in my brain. And it's fine. It's one of those movies that's like, it's totally fine while you're watching it. And then afterward, you're like, if it wasn't so like iconic and like ingrained, It's like, oh yeah, I watched that movie and it was fun, but I don't think about it because why would I?
Right. I mean, yeah, but they pull some good jokes that like don't
There's
feel
some jokes.
offensive, which is great.
I agree.
Like when he kisses, I do love that. When like he's like, give daddy a smooch
You have
or
a kiss
whatever,
for
and they
daddy?
Kiss. Yeah,
Like,
they kiss for
it's
daddy.
like
Yeah.
you say
He's
it.
like, oh, that's how they do it in that family. And I'm like, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell did I just witness? What just happened in front of me?
I know
I
he's
would be
like,
horrified.
nice. Like,
Really? Well, yeah, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, dude.
well,
Like, I really would just be like,
so that is another thing. So it's like, I said like Cameron he's too much drama, so they kept him to the side, even though he's got the real story.
yeah.
But what I was kind of caught off guard this time watching it actually a little bit, and I liked it because I want more of it because I do like Sloane and Ferris's like dynamic together. They have a pretty good
know.
chemistry.
She's like nothing in this movie, and I thought she was more when I
Yeah,
I remember her being a character, but
She's not much, but I mean she's she's cute and like she's fun and unassuming or whatever. But like at the end, I was hoping there'd be more of a dynamic because it caught me off guard when he's like, "I love you," and she's like, "I love you," and he's like, "I love you too," as he's running away. And it's like it felt like they wanted that to be a big moment. Like, oh, they said "I love you" to each other, but I'm like, do they already say that? They don't in the movie for sure, but like it just kind of comes around. Like I feel like they should have maybe had like a more of a drama there where it's like because he's like, "You want to get married?" and they're like, "Yeah, sure." It's
right.
like,
But I think,
but
I don't know, I
no,
think that's the thing. She's attracted to like his blow office charm that he can just like he's like. Yeah, he's gonna like
and he's attracted to her boobs and about how she agrees with him about everything.
100%. I mean, yeah, and that frayed jacket too. You can't even get me started.
That's
on
true.
that
I mean,
jacket.
yeah, she's very
Jacket's
cute,
dope.
but like, I don't know. I feel like that I love you scene like is kind of nice. Like that is a John Hughes like wholesome,
but then
John Hughes moment.
But then it's awkward because it literally cuts to a close up of Sloane, and she goes, "He's gonna marry me," and I'm like, "Oh, there we go. That's the antithesis of being a woman."
Yeah.
Great.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like even then that could have been like a sweet moment. But I feel like she's just such a also. I'm just coming back around. This is the Hate Ferris podcast. She's just an accessory
She's
to
gonna
him.
buy the. She's gonna buy the the chest freezer for him. Like
No,
she's
she's
gonna be
just
like,
the hot-
"It's fine, babe. We can get through this."
Nah, see, he'll never kill anyone. He'll just be fucking dead inside, and he'll definitely just like cheat on her and like abandon his children. Because Ferris, that's what it's going to be. Ferris Bueller's Days Off 2 is him just like avoiding his family. Like it's the opposite. He doesn't have to make it a home time. It's just him at the bar.
Funny. Dude, Sonny needs to do an episode. Why haven't they not done an episode to spoof that?
Right.
Oh shit, that'd be good. I'm gonna write a spec script and send it in.
That's what the show should be about. Clones of people too. I'm so sorry. Here's your Reddit comment.
I know. Yeah, well, I can give you a money minute too. Real
Give
quick,
it
'cause
to
it's
me.
Astronomical. This movie was. This
I'm
movie
curious.
was like $5.5 million to shoot, and then it grossed over 71 million, or it grossed 71 million.
Oh, nice.
71
That
million,
is
dude.
good.
Bonkers.
That's real nice. I honestly thought it was going to be more than that because it's like, but that doesn't even account for home video. That's the thing. It's like,
dude, don't even get me started. Shawshank Redemption was 25 million to shoot, and it only grossed 69 million.
Really?
So if you want to talk about, Shawshank's like in the top 3 on IMDb or like top 5 of
can
IMDb.
we?
Like,
Let's
don't
just
even get me
circle it back to Frank Darabont is what the Spielberg could have been. And why doesn't Frank Darabont?
That's true.
Where's Frank Darabont been? Where you been?
No, literally though, dude. Yeah.
The last movie he made was like The Mist. It was like fucking like almost.
06.
It was like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway, so yeah, but
All right.
what was that?
Clones are people too. Give it
And
to us.
I'm
man.
sober too. Which
Let
is
it please.
unfortunate.
I know. Which it probably explains everything.
So Clones of People 2 says, I've seen this a bunch of. Yeah, hold on. I've seen this a bunch before, but it has been a long time. This held up better than I remember and is probably my favorite film this month. The film has a lot of safe fun and is edited and paced well to keep this film enjoyable. Totally true. It is paced very well. I was surprised at how safe this film is. There's some swearing and a nurse that likes to do something that rhymes with pluck, but that's it. I think keeping the film so safe has allowed it to not feel too dated. I think the fourth wall breaks are great. Ferris is not just talking to us. We are in on it and so the audience gets to slack off with him rather than watch him slack off. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I like
that's
a good point. That's a good. It makes the fourth wall feel better for sure, which I already think is good. And he goes on to say, regarding the whole theories on if Ferris is real, I think he is. Whoops. He's an unreliable narrator, and the film is bordering into wish fulfillment to make him as cool and popular as he could be in opposition to Cameron's more realistic character. Overall, this is a strong 7 out of 10 for me and possibly my favorite of the 80s high school wave. Thanks for that.
I mean, that's the thing. I like this more than like 16 Candles or Breakfast Club.
It's same. Yeah, same.
It's
Even,
no,
I've,
it
I've
is
never,
no Baby's Day Out, but
I've never seen Breakfast Club actually all the way, so. But I feel
really?
like I've said that before, but because I keep trying to get it on the poll, but it never wins. I put it on like 2 polls at least. But no, it's a good point. See, I've heard that theory, and and I like it. But here's the thing: the theory that like Ferris is like the Tyler Durden, if you will, spoiler,
right,
of Cameron. It sort of makes sense, and it's fun to think about. But you know why that theory has to be concocted? Because this movie's just so shallow. It's like people need it to be deep and have something interesting to like.
And it's just, it's kind of just, it is a fun, it's a fun little like,
Well, yeah, that's why. And I do kind of think it's fun and lighthearted. But like I said before, it's like Cameron has like the heavy story where this feels like this is like the B character's story. And it's like, yeah, this is the lighthearted, like fun version. We don't want to deal with fucking drama. I'm not watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off to learn to feel about some kid's relationship with his troubled relationship with his dad. I'm not here to feel about that. I'm here to fucking, twist and shout or whatever.
Yeah, twist and shout. I mean, that's a fun bit, man. I love how the city
fun.
gets involved.
That's a lot of people.
And
It's a big scene.
This was shot for $6 million, which is pretty bonkers.
Good. That's pretty good.
There's some times that I can tell that like they shot a lot of scenes probably within like a weekend, like or like 3 days. They shot like all of the like principal, inside of his office. That was probably all shot in like 2 days because I noticed that like there feels like it's weird. They'll cut back and it'll feel like there was energy happening.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like they were like already shooting.
The same hairs out of place. You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. That's it. Exactly.
It
That's
feels
how it works.
like it is very.
Yeah,
continuous.
it feels like they like cut and then they came back right to the same shot, which is how movies are made. But it just has that. It like doesn't feel like it's like a second take or a different shot. It's like literally just cut from that and then they'll put a scene in between. So it's like it's weird because on this watch, I kind of noticed that like the pacing and editing is good, but it's kind of noticeable. Like if you like even like I don't know, I wasn't even trying to look for it, but I just kind of noticed myself being like, oh wow, like they feel like they're like in the house is all shot like same day, which is how they make movies. I understand.
I know.
It's not like don't come at me, but I'm just saying like it's got that feeling. I'm low budget.
I'm so sorry. We're not the Ferris Bueller of podcasts. So we're over here being all grumpy because my first, and I'm sad I feel this way because it's like I don't entirely, but my first thought to say to you was, yeah, it's because it's paint by numbers. You know what I mean? Right. The pacing, it all fits the perfect architecture.
And
everything.
I think it goes to show John Hughes isn't a great director. Like,
he's fine.
In that vein, like he's fine. Yeah, like he had like safe. Safe is just that's it. That's all that we needed to say. We should have been like
Spielberg is also safe, but he's a much better director because he does.
Sure,
he takes it and excels it.
And I would never. Oh my God, we're not
Spielberg
getting into this.
would make the movie.
Please, everybody out there.
Spielberg is like a B tier director, but it's like John Hughes is like a D tier director. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But
yeah, I'll take
John Hughes. John Hughes is like a B tier writer, even maybe. Like he's.
I would.
Like I think he's a primo. Like he's got it down. Man.
Oh my
like,
God, we're at an hour, dude. We're at an hour. We're done. So come, please, God, join us.
No, I'm gonna cut out like 40 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, you could. You probably can. I wouldn't be offended if you edited out some of that.
That would require more work for me than I'm willing to do.
Then you can do because we have 31 movies to watch next month. So
and responsibilities.
Everybody strap in your goddamn popcorn
Yeah.
bucket.
All right.
right now.
Put school behind you. It's spooky season. We
We're here to scare the kids.
if you're listening to this episode, you just might have enough time to get your ass over to the fucking Reddit and tell us what horror movie you want on the list. But
Because we can always put it on a poll. So
I've
tell us now.
already
You got,
already made most of the
you got, like
list.
2 weeks almost.
But yeah,
so
we're gonna watch.
come on.
There are 5 Tuesdays, so we record on Tuesdays. There are 5 Tuesdays in October. So
You
we're
just
gonna
gave him a peek behind the curtain.
so
buddy.
I know.
Don't tell them when we record.
know.
They'll
So-
try to get us busy.
So we're gonna do 5 polls, and then so that leaves 26 other movies that are gonna get locked in. 5 polls like we normally do throughout the week, and then we'll do our one weekly. I mean, if you've been here on previous years, you maybe know how it works. But we're gonna do one podcast, like one movie that wins the poll per week, and then later we'll figure out we're gonna do like a big episode. But we'll see how that goes. That might go Patreon or something. But speaking of Patreons, if you are a Patreon, we love you, and if you're not, why not? You should be.
That would be, and if you were, that would be great because it would help us.
Where else
just
can you get
inch.
fucking heated, just riveting conversation like you do here at the Cult of Cinema Knowledge podcast?
You didn't think we would talk about Spielberg as much as we did on this
I didn't
episode,
think
did
we'd
you?
talk about Spielberg
Did
as much
you?
as we did either. I never. That's the thing. I never want to talk about
never wanna
Spielberg.
talk about
I never
Spielberg.
want to. You know, it's always
Man,
kind of.
That's what alienates us. From,
I have to.
for being
Well,
any
I know we're over here being like, yeah, fucking the worst thing Spielberg ever did was take George Lucas under his wing because Star Wars that fucking piece of shit. It's like no wonder.
Yeah. I'm like, Saving Private Ryan's fine.
So if you want to listen to some, 30-something-year-old guys talk about how they wish that more people got murdered in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, this is the
We
podcast for you.
We're just going to be a Gasper No podcast. From
Only Lars Rantier movies from here on out, just on repeat.
Yeah, just those two. We'll just watch. We're only going to watch those two directors.
Honestly.
and then we'll try to. Yeah, then we're going to try to commit our
Gasper
own.
Noé and Lars Rantier can direct both those guys under the table. Let's just be real.
100%. Yeah, with just $10,000 and a fucking shoebox.
Yeah,
They
speaking
could
of
make it.
because normally every year for you'll see, but normally every year for Horrortober, we keep trying to get a Lars von Trier movie on there, but we're kind of running out.
I know,
But
really, though.
this year we got a Gasper Noé movie on there,
Right.
So,
we're kind of
they're
they're interchangeable. to
They
me.
sort of are.
but I love them both.
Yeah, me too.
No, they're very they are different. I'll do a video essay on that.
They're
too.
quite different, but tonally they work together. It's like those two, and then like a Harmony Korine. Like they all kind of just like hang out together. Like that's the vibe.
Only
All
on
right.
Zoom, though, because
Yeah.
they're freaks. All right.
Dude, to get on that Zoom call
I would
sounds
I'd
terrifying.
I'd give anything.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Please.
I'm so
save
sorry.
us.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank you for making it this far.
Yeah.
You know,
Check
you
it
gotta
out.
give us money now. You made it this far.
Yeah. Be back for all the horror movies. Buckle the fuck up. We're gonna watch.
Yeah.
Get spooky
It's a good
ooky
list.
with it.
We got a good list going.
I've if you're on the YouTube, I've lost hair over this list, and so that's how you know it's good. It's because I want to watch all of them so bad. It's not enough. I wish it was 60 horror movies.
Well, I wish it was 60 horror movies, and then all my family was dead because then I would be. I would have all the
I
time.
know.
to watch
I'm gonna drop out of school. This is a mistake. I'd rather watch horror movies.
Really, though, you should. Yeah, dude, that's not very Ferris of you. So
I know. I'm gonna
Bueller.
fucking Bueller it off and just fucking hack chat GBT write my papers.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Okay, you guys, this is a rough. This is
Please
rough,
help
buddy.
me. Please send
Okay,
help.
Goodbye.
Bye.